Hey there. I'm here to talk about painting. The thing about painting is that a painting should be about one of three things: light, value, or color. So this is an axiom of painting. Now, an axiom like this has been around for hundreds of years. They come from classical art, right? Now, there's a certain guy out there, Frank Frazetta, who used these techniques. He claimed he didn't know how he did his paintings, but believe me, he did, or he wouldn't have been able to do them. Now, perhaps it was too complex to go into all the axioms, 25 or more, and explain them. But for whatever reason, the people that followed were basically in the dark. So, axiom number one here, you can look at contemporary fantasy art and find that people are trying to do all three at the same time, or perhaps they're not emphasizing color, but they have light and value equally in opposition. And that doesn't work. It reduces the impact and the power of the work. Now, you might see the work and recognize something, a dragon or a barbarian or a woman or whatever, and say, oh, well, I do like that. And it's like, well, you didn't see the improved version, so how do you know how far you can take it? Well, you can know how far to take it by looking at work by Frazetta or some of my work, because we follow the axioms and we polish the work and we perfect it. Now, these 25 axioms, if you learn them all, guess what? Mastery. It can take some time, but that's where mastery comes from. So what's another axiom? Well, one axiom is that the eye goes to the point of highest contrast. So if you've got a picture and everything out here is gray, where does the eye go? Well, it goes right here, highest contrast. That's a simple axiom. A more complex axiom has to do with values. Now, this painting here, or this idea, it's not a painting really. Now I've just shaded this. So now we technically have four values, 1, 2, 3, 4. What's the trouble with these values, with the balance of the values? The trouble is the black value is this much, the white value is this much, the one gray value is this much, and the other gray value is this much. See? So that is not a balance of values. A balance of values in a painting should be geometric. Now, it doesn't matter if this is black or this is white or this is gray or which is which, because a painting should have four values, and they should be in geometrically descending order. Now, if you master this axiom and use it in your paintings, you learn it. It'll take you a few weeks until it becomes second nature. But when you do, your paintings will have incredible power that they didn't have before. So when it comes to fantasy art, trouble is we've gone too far into the fantasy and gone away from the art. Now, fantasy art, if it's got something in it like scantily clad woman or a barbarian or a monster or something like that, we go, oh, that's fantasy art, right? Well, unfortunately, what the layman does, and everyone starts here, is they judge a piece of art in two ways. One is recognition, where they look at the art and they say, oh, that's a character I know or something that I remember. Recognition. Now, whatever the painting might have accomplished in every other area, technically, it doesn't come into it. It's simple recognition. And there's a lot of this going around. The second, comparison. Say, for example, someone in the audience is looking at a dozen different pieces. Here they are. And they go, I like this one the best. Okay? They may like it the best because they recognize something in it. In fact, that's probably what it's going to be. So all the other pieces, no matter what they accomplish or anything else, they don't get the recognition. They get judged by comparison. So at any rate, what happens is the work itself does not get appreciated for all the levels that it succeeds on. Now this is why, when it comes to art, if you go into a library, a good library, and look at the art section, there's history, there's academic study, analysis, just trillions, billions of words written about art on all levels, far, far beyond what we have here, recognition and comparison. So at any rate, this is the beginning. And if you're an artist and you want to have more, if you really want to have mastery, and if you want to improve your work, then I suggest you contact me, and we'll get to work and get you going on these axioms. Because what you'll, unfortunately, you won't find these anywhere. If you do find them, you will have to do what I did, which was spend decades researching, going through libraries, reading books on painting, reading all this stuff, reading, studying, practicing, and so on. So I've done all that work, and now I'm in a position where I can help you. But it is not just about seeing someone's work. Yeah, Frazetta was my first influence to start doing this kind of work. Before that, it was Jack Kirby. Jack Kirby was first, Frazetta came second. And but I didn't learn to do this from looking at Frank Frazetta. I learned to do this by going to the source, the same one that he did. And I suspect that what he did was he either learned it from someone, from a school, or from the public library near where he lived. The truth is that the books on art back then, like the famous artist course and Bridgman and some other books that people might be familiar with, although those are about drawing, not painting, those works have not been supplanted or surpassed. It's very basic information, like the axioms. The axioms have been in place for centuries. And that's because they work. The human eye works a certain way. It perceives things in a certain way. And as an artist, we take advantage of that. But what you don't want to do is just kind of slog through it in a sloppy fashion, perhaps emulating a couple of artists, learning a few things from copying other artists. You don't want to do that. You need to learn the mechanics and the techniques, the real ones. And that's what we're teaching. So come on, sign up. Sign up and you will be better for it, better artist.